we left the rat race briefly. 90 days, no mom taxi, no work commute, no sports commitments, no schedule, no normal life. It was the best decision ever. No regrets. We took our 4 kids off land and onto a sailboat, and what happened surprised us in many ways. It was an amazing bonding and learning experience we will never forget. All of us, kids included, refer to our experiences and lessons learned on the boat on a weekly basis. This is what and how it changed our lives, our kids, our family, and us.
3.
Hello. We just got out of the hotel and
we're heading to Texas.
Yes, we are heading to Texas.
Final driving stretch of the trip. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Yay!
We weren't running away from normal life. We were running towards adventure, towards something we felt we were losing. We wanted to seize family experiences and challenges with our kids before they all flew the coop. Joe and I always dreamed of living on a sailboat even before we were married, so we wanted to share that experience with our kids. Our friends thought we were totally crazy to leave the financial security of our job and go on such a massive adventure. However, those closest to us, our family and lifelong friends, knew this was right up our alley. They were used to our adventures of flying planes across Alaska, snow machining crashes and medevacs, living among the bears and the moose, and a lifetime of camping and hiking explorations. How often do people actually seize their dreams and make them a reality and make them come true? Well, we do, and what an accomplishment that was.
Coin, I'm gonna throw it into the ocean. I got a coin, I'm gonna throw it into the ocean and I'm gonna make a wish. My wish is I hope that everything goes well and everything goes as planned.
All right.
Next time somebody goes magnet fishing here, they might find coin.
I think that's going to be our
Coin!
Some of the hurdles that we had in this adventure was agonizing over whether Joe should quit his job or how we should handle the job situation. It was secure and it was a great career. Should he just ask for a leave of absence or should he resign completely? Another challenge was running out of money along the way and damaging our savings and retirement for when we returned. How would we handle that? How would we even have enough money or save enough money for an adventure like this? Shipwrecks or being stranded at sea or even death, life and death situations. How would we handle all of those hurdles and difficult situations? Another one was me not knowing how to sail if something happened to Joe. Joe knew how to sail and grew up sailing on Kentucky Lake, but that wasn't open water sailing out on the ocean. And me, I had never sailed before, so I needed to take some lessons. What about the kids and boredom? Would they be bored forever on the boats? Would that be difficult? Would we need to entertain them? How were they going to handle that situation? And then finally, we weren't super confident in this endeavor. We were definitely not experts. We did not have all our ducks in a row. And in fact, I think if we did have all our ducks in a row, we probably never would have gone on the trip because you could take forever and ever planning and preparing. But we went ahead and we seized the moment and we tackled everything head on. Did it all turn out the way we imagined? Absolutely not. Would we have done some things differently? Probably, yes. But here's our story. We didn't know if it was going to bring us closer or break us, but we gave it a go anyway. We leaned on God's scripture in Romans 8:28. It says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose." But that doesn't mean it wasn't hard. Here are a few things, just a few, of the things that we encountered along the way. We had serious seasickness, so much that we even had a few times family puking sessions where we passed the bucket around and everybody just kept throwing up. It was awful. We had incredibly rough seas and storms at times, so bad that the inside of our boat, the salon, was completely destroyed by everything being thrashed about in the waves and the rough weather. We did encounter some boredom, but honestly, we were just so busy trying to stay alive at some times that we quickly overcame the boredom. Yes, the kids did miss their friends, but they survived that and were able to keep in touch occasionally, and they made new friends along the way. A lot of people asked us about living in tight quarters. How would we survive that without a lot of our stuff, the small area of the boat? That wasn't even a problem for us. Then there were those moments that we questioned our decisions, like some of the moments where we had no sleep and 10 nights crossing the Gulf of Mexico. That was a definite challenge. There were many mechanical problems. Our buddy boat ran into a series of problems, and we attempted to help and stay with them and maneuver through that. So that was a challenge. We had some mechanical problems as well. Like I said before, there was the horrible seasickness. And then finally, being on a schedule and rushing home. At the very end of our trip, we were on a really tight schedule and we were going north up the East Coast at the time frame when everybody was heading south. And that was really difficult for us. We encountered storm after storm after storm and challenge after challenge, all while wishing we were back south in the Bahamas and having fun with everyone else.
Hi guys, so I have wrote the message in the bottle and I am about to throw it out to the Gulf Stream. And this is for all you guys. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There we go.
What changed for Joe and I? Well, we let go of a lot of security. We let go of financial security, medical security, home life security, and all the creature comforts that come with a typical expected American life. We learned to adapt to and live by Mother Nature, really by our circadian rhythms. We woke up with the first light and we were down to sleep shortly after dark set in. And that was so healthy. And we were so tired and exhausted as well. We accomplished so many things during those hours that we had to get to bed unless we were on passage. That was a different story. One of us was always awake all the way through the night on passage. We really redefined success for our family. We learned how to do really, really hard things as a family together. We were forced to slow down and to learn a new lifestyle. Although slowing down doesn't necessarily mean that you are relaxing. Many times we were super busy just trying to stay alive. So that's why I'm making this video now and not while we were in the midst of it, because we were so busy. We really enjoyed playing games with the kids, having time to visit together, having time to discuss things and all the crazy experiences that we had together. We realized that being productive was different from being present with the kids and each other. We learned to simply enjoy life and our family and to be thankful for so many things in life. We learned how to really enjoy God's creation and all He has blessed us with.
So guys, the only thing that I don't like about the saltwater race is that when you put it in across the railing, it gets all crystallized. Because the saltwater waves, they have salt and it makes it gets crystals if it splashes onto your boat. Bye.
What changed for us? What changed with the kids? Well, there were many things. There was confidence, curiosity, lots of connection, and time had changed. In confidence, all of the kids learned they were completely capable of handling different situations with the boat. Each one of them learned how to operate the dinghy, how to raise and lower the dinghy, and each kid had different responsibilities all around the boat that they had to manage and maintain. Curiosity, these kids saw so many things that most people never see before. We saw the plankton glowing in the dark at night in the ocean. We saw so many different marine life, animals and fish that were all around that was so fascinating. Learning for us stopped being something that was really structured, as in a classroom or in our homeschool community, and they learned everyday life things all about the boat systems, life-saving tactics, life-saving needs in the middle of a hurricane, the importance of preparation and redundancy in our planning, how to operate parts of the boat, how to operate the dinghy. And like I said before, the most fun was the ocean life and seeing all of that, both underwater and above water. We observed a whole bunch of different birds. We found lobster and conch and sea biscuits and sharks, and the list goes on and on. They got to meet people living on different islands in the Bahamas and visit with them. They went to a school at the Bahamas or in the Bahamas. And they just really got to experience other cultures for the very first time. And those are some of the experiences our kids talk about most often. We didn't separate into different worlds to play on electronics, although that did happen occasionally. But we worked together as a group and had fun listening to audiobooks, listening to a lot of music together. They were super creative with random items all around the boat in playing different games and imaginary pretend situations. And then they explored together. They explored the land, they explored the ocean, they explored the islands, we explored other boats, just so many adventures all along the way. They had time to be kids. They had time to unplug because we didn't have the internet. So we had a lot of family bonding time centered around board games and coloring and audiobooks and music and just simple conversation. It was really enjoyable. What did we miss? Well, there were some creature comforts that we missed. In particular, hot showers, the fireplace in our house, and washing machines. I really missed washing machines. We survived and things were fine, but you certainly take for granted washing machines at home when you are on a boat. Certainty. There was a certain level of certainty that you always have when you're at home. You have a regular schedule, you have sports, extracurricular activities, school, church, things like that. Everything was unknown to us. Where we were going the next day, where we were headed, what might happen, what the weather would be, how things would change really quickly for us, how we would have to adapt and improvise. So certainty definitely was tossed out the window. Being normal, doing the same thing that everyone else does. Did we miss that? Maybe a little bit, but not so much. We always battle and fight keeping up with the Joneses. And it was nice to be pulled out of that circle and not even be capable of attempting to keep up with the Joneses when you're out on a boat and living life completely differently. So overall, our trip wasn't really about being anti-normal or leaving the rat race, but really just living life with our family and taking a very intentional long-term trip. It was supposed to be a year-long trip, and sadly, we had to cut it short to 3 months. We'll explain more of that later, but we've always pushed back against cultural norms. Joe and I have been a little on the different side our whole marriage. We've often lived outside of the box and done things quite differently. We were always willing to brave new things and dive into new cultures fairly easily. We've both lived overseas in different countries, and we really crave change-ups. We really enjoy switching things up for our family. So how did we find the courage and strength to take on this adventure? Well, we are firm followers of Jesus Christ. Our faith in God is what gave us the courage to step out and try something new. And at times, our faith is what kept us going and even drew us closer to God through many of the challenges. We knew that no matter what, even if we failed, God would help us manage to get back on our feet and we would be okay.
Nothing like waking up, eating breakfast, and jumping in the water.
So you ask, why are we sharing this now? Well, honestly, we were so busy just trying to stay alive that we weren't able to share very well while we were on the water. Some of you may have seen our Facebook page with occasional videos and lots of pictures, but this is a more thorough relaunch of our trip and a venture down memory lane for us to share and remember all of the fun adventures we had. We didn't film this to brag or to go viral. We filmed it so that we wouldn't forget what an amazing experience we had. And so maybe another family might be inspired to take their own temporary or long-term adventure on a sailboat as well. So we're back. Meandering 6 is sharing the full journey. Come back to watch more videos about boat schooling the kids while living on the hook. See what family life was like on a monohull sailboat for 90 days and so many more lessons learned. If you're a parent, a dreamer, or someone questioning the pace of life, subscribe and come along with us. We're just getting started again. And if this made you think, tell us in the comments, what would you change if you left the rat race for 90 days or longer?